Friday morning, can't control it. Fired up and counting every minute. Hands are shaking, eyes are burning. The time has come, yeah, this is not a warning. The week was just so long, we had to let it go. Our problems disappeared, we're not tied up anymore. The weekend is here. Sunday calls, we are sick and tired of it. Up and down, can you feel it? Up and down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Kate Johansson Show. It's Kate. Today, got another special guest as I'm looking again, once more, into Scandinavian wrestling. We've got the first ever Danish wrestler to get a WWE tryout, Carlos Zamora. Carlos, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Kurt, for having me.
Really
Appreciate
excited to learn more about your career. I was just saying before we started recording, every interview I do, people are just singing your praises, whether it's some of their favourite matches or if it's somebody they're wanting to get in the ring with. So first and foremost, how does that feel when everybody's holding you in such high regard when it comes to some of the best wrestlers in Scandinavia?
Man, I just feel appreciated. So I can't say anything else than thank you so much, you guys. You know who I am, and you know how I am backstage, and I love to work and perform in front of the audience and get to more work.
Yeah, like it's not even just the Scandinavian wrestlers. Again, I mentioned I did an interview with Screwface Ahmed, and he's been in Denmark a few years. And when I asked the question of like, who do you want to face when wrestling goes back to normal, and when we was having a look in Scandinavia, you're one of the names he mentioned where he'd like to share the ring with you. So again, Screwface has been doing it for years across All Star and GW. Is wrestling at Rev Pro at the weekend. So when somebody that's held in such high regard in like the UK is saying that, how does that feel?
Like a big honor. I've been trained by Jamie as well, and with Zach Gibson.
Yeah.
And he's one of my friends, and I've been teasing him sometimes. Why don't you challenge me if you want some challenge? Because I see all his promos going crazy. He looks legit, but he also knows that I have a background in MMA, and he's like a big fan of UFC.
Yeah.
And we share this common bond. Like, we know what looks real, and we want to, put in some real stuff, MMA stuff, into our matches. So that's why he would fit perfectly with a match against me.
Hopefully that does happen, and if it is to happen and it's not in the UK, then hopefully it'll be in like Copenhagen, just so it's so easy for me to fly over to come watch it.
Yeah, you should come anytime. When this lockdown is over, you should take the first flight over.
Definitely. So you mentioned the MMA background. Like, how long was you doing your MMA? Was you competing in MMA or was you just trained?
No, I was competing. I had a decent amateur record. I was smoking everybody. And that's the reason why I came into wrestling, because I was just, poking some guy from DPW. Yeah. I didn't text, but I commented, like, how can this guy be a lightweight champion? I want to challenge this guy just for fun. And promoter from DPW named Kim Chaos, he texted me and he wanted me to do a fake or break, the infamous
Yeah.
fake or break. So he gave me that, and from there it's just history.
Had you been a wrestling fan prior to that?
Yeah, I'm a big WCW guy.
Big WCW. Have you seen? I don't know if you'd have seen it on Twitter. Somebody's created like a WCW 2021 and have been doing like press releases trying to say they've got 50% of the rights and that they're going to bring WCW back in 2021.
Oh, it was crazy. No, I haven't seen that one, fortunately.
Don't know how true it is. It's probably a load of shit, but everybody's just going crazy about it on the internet, which I found amusing. Like, who is some of your favorites when watching WCW?
Definitely Vampiro. That's like
Vampiro.
so much contrary to me. He doesn't remind me of me, so I just like his style and his explosiveness and the way he connects with the crowd. And even though he wasn't the top guy, everybody was digging him. So I
Yeah.
kind of like that, and I got hooked to him as well.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like some of his later work with Lucha Underground, where he was
Yeah, yeah,
working with Pentagon, that story in itself was some of the best storytelling I've seen anywhere in wrestling.
yeah. I saw that too. I just wish he would him in his prime when he
Yeah,
was PW Vampiro. I was really hooked into him.
yeah, definitely. So, what was it like when you'd been? Obviously, there's so many similarities with MMA, professional wrestling, with the conditioning and the physicality of it. But how did you find doing the fake or break camps? Like, how did you find adjusting to wrestling?
Conditioning wise, I didn't think it was that tough because I'm
Yeah,
always in great shape. But I had to learn everything from scratch, and I learned some basic stuff before the figure break just to get me prepared. I wasn't afraid about the thousand squats or the thousand push-ups or anything because my conditioning is top notch. But I learned pretty quickly, and when I saw it when I was a child, I just tried it, and I just mimicking remember everything that I've seen in WCW, and I
yeah.
just did it. So I caught up like a SpongeBob. It's not that hard. But the one thing I could say, Kurt, was I had to change a little bit because normally when you come from a fighting world, you have to hide your emotions and your
Yeah.
feelings. So I had to change that along the run.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because again, you're taught not to show emotion, don't be playing to the crowd, don't give anything away. And then in wrestling, you've got to do all of that. You've got to show emotion, you've got to show with your hair to try and tell that story. So, how long do you think it took for you to get comfortable doing that?
Mm, man, it took me like 1 year, 2 years, and even into my second year, I had to work a lot with the emotions, and especially now in my fourth year, I think a lot of it is about timing as well, and not to plan too much what to say, what to do. Just get it out there, get your emotions out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. You can't really describe it. You
What
just
about
go.
with what about with your striking then? Because again, when you're going into the ring when it's an MMA world, you're going in there to win. You're going in there to hopefully knock your opponent out or get some good blows in. Was it hard for you to like rein it in, or because you've had that control, did you adapt easily?
No, man, I don't want to say sound like everything was so easy, but I could control my punches, and I knew from the get go how to throw a punch without hurting anybody. Because I normally, when I spar, I want to throw a punch, but I can stop the punch right before I hit the guy,
Yeah,
and the only thing he needs to do is to sell, and I
yeah,
can still make the sound. And I don't do the sound. I don't want to. I don't want to. I say they expose this, but
yeah.
I can still do a sound where people can't really figure out where it comes from.
Okay, so who was the trainers on that fake and break camp? Was it the one with Gibson and Screwface?
Actually, no. It was the first one was in 2016. It was with Kay Jutler, if
Okay,
you're familiar with him.
no, not too familiar to be honest.
Uh,
So
yeah, sorry.
that's all right. So who was it that you was facing in that debut match then? Who was it that got you to come out for to switch sport?
That was actually the coach, the Kay Jutler guy.
Yeah.
So
How do you
5 days.
feel it went?
It felt okay. I mean, it was my first time, but it was me as a competitor against him. I didn't get much to do, but we did everything that we trained for 5 days at the
Yeah.
Figure Break camp, and I could tell from if I watch it again, I could definitely tell that he was saving me for some more. So just did the drills that we did for the training, but it was like an honor to get that match against him after just 5 years of experience in ring.
Yeah. What was it like being in front of that crowd then, in that different capacity where you're having to draw them in?
I think the Figure Break crowd, it's not the biggest one. It's not the most rowdy one.
Yeah.
But I did my second match in Copenhagen, and they're really loud. So I chose not to be myself. I chose to be a guy with a mask, just because I just wanted to perhaps hide myself, or I just perhaps I just wanted to save myself from I don't know what it was. I started a gimmick with a mask called a guy called mala suerte, meaning bad luck.
Okay.
Just to be mysterious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How long did you keep that gimmick for?
I think for 1 year, maybe more, and then I said to the promoter, "Hey, let me get this mask off, and let's just go with the flow and see where this takes us."
Yeah. So how did it feel when you took that mask off then? Because I was speaking with Easy Lovers, and when Jackpot mentioned he took off the Captain Body Slam mask and stuff, he felt quite naked. He felt vulnerable again, as if it's his first time in front of a crowd. How was it for you when you finally pulled that mask off and again making yourself vulnerable to the crowd?
I felt easy because I was a mask guy in CCW, but in
Yeah.
DPW, which is 4 hours drive from the Copenhagen city, I just wrestled as myself. You know,
Okay.
struggling with coming up with these gimmicks and everything, and I called myself so many silly names like the Golden Talent, the Natural, the modern day Gladiator. So embarrassed by that one. So I had two gimmicks, one in Copenhagen and one in
Yeah.
DPW. So yeah, it was easy. I think I'd rather be the guy from CCW, the cocky guy.
Yeah. Which crowd do you prefer? Do you prefer that rowdy Copenhagen style crowd, or do you prefer the more tame, say, family friendly crowds?
Nah, definitely the rowdy one, because
Yeah.
you can interact in a different way, but the same way as a heel when it's family friendly.
Yeah.
I kind of hate when I'm the heel, but I'm kind of a babyface right now in DPW, so I like that change.
Yeah. What don't you like about being a heel for the family friendly show? Not making kids cry and stuff.
Did you say hero or heel?
So when you're a heel with family friendly shows, like why don't you like it?
I don't know, man. I just like the kids not booing at me. I just like grown up ass man. They would boo at me instead,
Yeah.
not kids.
Okay. So I think it'd have been, was it last year you ended up winning the heavyweight title for DPW?
Yeah, that was actually last year, early in the year 2019, right after I came back from the Philippines.
Yeah.
It
Because
was
you'd faced Looking Sharp. Is
yeah.
that correct? How was that match for you?
It was great. We had a great match, and when I won it, it was like, whoa, this is it. After just 3 years, and what I do now with this belt. Um, I think that, you know, despite just being in ring for 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe it was a little bit early, but I felt ready. I felt ready to be main eventing. So it wasn't that hard. I was just I mean, just craving for more every year.
And you're definitely doing more. Like you've been several different countries. You've had your tryout with WWE, and you're one of few wrestlers that are working for all three promotions. In Denmark, within obviously Dansk Pro Wrestling, Copenhagen, and Body Slam. So that in itself, how does that feel? Like knowing not everybody gets to do that. Not everybody gets to work all 3 shows, but you're one of them doing that.
Yeah, I know what I'm capable of. I know what's my value. I know what to do in those matches. I've said this since day one. My next match is my most important match. So I have this mentality, number one mentality, that I just want to steal the show every time. I don't want to be held back. So they know when they book me, I want to do a great show, a great match.
Yeah. So how long did you start feeling comfortable then, like when being in the ring?
I think when I won the DPW heavyweight championship, I felt more comfortable. And even today, I'm a heel at Body Slam, but I'm a face in CCW and in DPW. But I just think it comes naturally to me right now. When I go out behind the curtains and out to the ring, I just go with the flow now. It's getting better and better.
Yeah. So taking it back to more of the beginning, we mentioned him earlier with Zach Gibson and Screwface, and you actually got to share the ring with Zach Gibson during that fake and break run. And what was it like sharing the ring with him, and what was it you learned from having them two as coaches at fake and break?
I think I actually don't want. It's embarrassing. I forgot that I was in the ring with Zach Gibson. But when Sebastian had that interview with you earlier this month or last month, he said that I shared the ring with Sebastian and Zach Gibson. What comes to my mind is Zach Gibson. I was laying flat on my back, and he was hoisting his leg up, and he was putting his boot into my face. I was like, shit, Gibson, don't break my nose. But he was light. That's what I remember in that match. It was more of a match between me and Sebastian, between the heel and the baby face during this small feud. So it was kind of cool to say you shared the ring with Gibson, but I still want that 1-on-1.
Definitely. And the match itself, I believe you was teaming with Christian Holm and Pierre-Lee Presty against Mirage. It was Sebastian Day under his Irish gimmick and Zach Gibson.
Yeah, it's true. Was that a question?
But no, what was you like? What do you think you learned from having Gibson and Screwface as coaches at Fake or Break?
Everything, realism. I'm not much of a big fan of things happening in the ring which doesn't make sense. Even when you do Irish whip, you don't get whipped without extending your arms. So, just basic stuff. When you see two wrestlers in the ring doing this stuff, he taught me that why would you do that? Why do they do this and that? So I think Gibson he actually opened my mind into why should it be so silly in some ways. So from there I just caught up real quick with every tips you could come up with and put it into my matches, and I want every match that I have to look as realistic as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned before we was recording you'd been to the UK for like England and Wales wrestling. Which companies were those with?
I think Britannia. I think it's part Liverpool, part Welsh, and in Liverpool as well. But I don't remember the promotion.
Okay.
I'm so sorry for this, but
yeah. How did you find the experience wrestling in England?
Oh, it was so much fun. We did the kid shows.
Yeah.
Where I wrestled and got on a road trip with Dan Evans, a friend of Zach Gibson. I stayed at his place. He took me under his wing, and we went out and did this 1 week road trip where we trained, woke up, trained, ate our breakfast, and went out and did these kids shows. And he wanted to be the heel, and I was the good guy. And as I mentioned earlier, that I didn't like to be a heel in front of kids, so I got this amazing experience with Dan Evans that I could wrestle in front of the screaming kids, and just be a hero. for the kids. I don't know why. I just really love that part.
Is that something you're hoping to do, like when COVID disappears and wrestling goes back to normal, to come back over to the UK?
Definitely, definitely. I've been trying to reach out to Gibson many times to say, hey, I want to wrestle on your shows. I'll even pay my own flight ticket. And even before the corona, I talked to some guys from London. Hey, can I come over? Yes, you can come over, but I'll pay my own flight ticket. If you like my stuff, hey, fine by me. But then the corona came and spoiled everything. But yeah, for sure, Kurt. I'll be mailing every UK promotions. Hey, no Guapos in town.
Oh, brilliant. Now, it'd be good to have you over. And again, we don't even know what British wrestling is going to look like at the moment. Obviously, we had the speaking out movement, which was heavily affected in the UK. So certain promotions, we don't know if they're coming back. But it seems like it happened for the better. We've got rid of like all the toxic, and there's such a good space for good people to make their living now. In British wrestling, and it's a great opportunity to be training as well. You've got people like Rampage Brown and Dean Allmark just in like the north of England that you can train under. So it would definitely be interesting to see when you come over.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I'm craving for more experience, more training.
Yeah. Well, before I started doing the like hashtag Scandigraps, looking into Scandinavian wrestling, I've been looking into Southeast Asian wrestling, having a look at interviewing people from Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, and I know you've been to the Philippines. You're part Filipino in yourself. When was the first time you went over there to wrestle?
I think it was 2019, just around, no, 18, sorry.
Yeah.
I came over on vacation. I tried to reach out to the promoter guy, Jake De Leon.
Yeah.
I think you interviewed him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the guy. So nobody responded. So I just showed up on their training, inner training. So I just, hey Jake, it's me. I tried to reach out for you. I'm just a part Filipino white boy, and started training, and everybody could see that I could move and work. So they had a show the next week, and everybody was poking Jake. Hey, you got to put this guy on at least on the pre-show. So I got my pre-show match, and then I got the next month I got a pre-show match again. Then I had to go home, family issues, and then I went back the next year again, and I got my big match. I was defending my Danish title in Asian soil, so that was a really good match I had in PWR. And
Yeah, that's like look at me now kind of thing where you've tried reaching out, you've not heard back, you've turned up and like, yeah, we'll put you on the dark and you get a match on the show, you go away and then a year later, a lot better, you've got the title. And would you say that's one of your favorite places to wrestle?
yeah, for sure, man. The crowd over there, it's next level. They pop on everything, like it's really too much, and their social media coverages are the best in the world. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. I'm sorry to say this, Filipinos, but you know you're my boys. But more nerdy, in a good way, wrestling fans who support you and follow you and everything, and they're really, how do you say this, really really humble when they see a guy, part them. So I just hope that one day I'll be back to do even bigger matches, such as TJ Perk.
Yeah, definitely. And even across like Southeast Asia, like if you get one of those Danish titles, whether it is with Dance Pro, CCW, or Body Slam, it would be a good way to turn that title into a world title. Go travel Southeast Asia, because obviously in the Philippines you've got Philippine Wrestling Revolution, and you've got I think it's Manila Wrestling Federation out there, but then you've got the places in Malaysia and Singapore. I know Shaukat, who created my PW, he's now creating APAC Wrestling. So it's like Asian Pacific. So again, that'd be something interesting for you to do to, one, grow Scandinavian wrestling, being that flag bearer, and it'd be a good bridge, I believe, with yourself.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be nice.
Was there anybody that stood out while she was out there that you'd want to get in the ring with?
Jake De Leon.
Yeah.
Chris Panzer. Chris Panzer. Who else? Who else? I can't mention guys who are big names like TJ Perkins, but
Yeah.
if I had to choose PWR, I would choose Jake DeLeon, Chris Panzer, Ken Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
Well,
top of my
I don't know where they will be. Jake DeLeon and Ken Warren have left PWR and have no intentions of going back at the moment. So I
yeah,
don't know where they're going to be wrestling. They're doing their own thing of like calling themselves the PWRGs, like Philippine Wrestling
yeah.
Gs. So hopefully, like that would happen. But going back to like the stuff in Scandinavia, like what's it been like seeing the growth of the wrestling scene over the years from you starting? Like CCW and Body Slam in particular are doing some fantastic stuff where their crowds are growing and growing. They're both using social media as a good presence to grow, especially like Twitter. So how's it been seeing the change in Danish and well Scandinavian wrestling as a whole?
I think it's important because you reach out to all over the world. I mean, even in the UK and the Germany, they notice us. So the more social media we can do, the better. Well,
Yeah.
why not? I mean, I think Body Slam and CCW are doing the right thing. And when this lockdown is over, I think we could get more exposure, more talent in, and talent back. And I just think it's evolving slowly, but that's the right way to do right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you mentioned like Germany. I know you've wrestled for a couple of different German promotions. What's it been like wrestling in Germany for you?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's partly northern Germany.
Yeah,
Try to get a little bit more south, but they don't know who I am. But I just still trying to poke them every once in a while. But you can't do much here in the lockdown or in
yeah,
the corona. But the German fans are also very very loyal to their promotion, and I have some friends from Germany as well I've wrestled against. So I really miss working with those guys.
yeah.
A lot of good guys, and yeah.
A lot of people in Scandinavia and even in the UK always look to WXW to go there to train. Is that something you've done, or is that something you'd be interested in doing? Is like going training with WXW?
I already did. I already did.
How was
So
that?
it was like a weird experience because I was there not to really. Yeah, obviously I came to learn some more and to train, but I wasn't really, I would say, excited about the training because they had these like one particular trainer super arrogant, but he actually got kicked out of wrestling right now in WXW for I think bad behavior when
Yeah.
the hashtag movement it came along. His name was Jay Skillet. um
Okay.
yeah, so I just think he was pretty arrogant towards me, and I even reached out to the promoter and said, hey, could you use a guy like me? And he said it wasn't ready and couldn't understand it because how could he how could he how can he say that when he haven't seen me live?
Yeah.
um, he got his references from this trainer who eventually got kicked out for bad behavior or something. I don't know what it was.
Would you want to try and go back now that he's not there? If it's see if it'll be a more positive environment for you.
Yeah, definitely. I just texted him today actually.
Brilliant. Hopefully, like it's always crap when there is somebody arrogant. And to be honest, the way like your conditioning, your raw talent, your appearance is probably just intimidation. Thinking, shit, this guy's probably going to take my job.
I don't know, man. It's just they just butt hurt. I don't know. It's just competition, but I'm not playing around when I'm there.
Yeah. So what's it been like wrestling throughout Scandinavia then? Because you've done Norway and Sweden as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
What are those been like in comparison to Denmark?
I think Norway they have NWF. I guess it was actually a fun experience. I was supposed to be there for some passport issues in Oslo, Norway. And I told them, hey, I'm gonna be around. Can you use me? So I ended up wrestling 2 times. Crowd amazing. Guys from Norway are amazing. They just remind you of people from Denmark,
Yeah.
and even Sweden. It's like when you get booked to several promotions, it's a lot of fun. You meet the same people, same guys. So you're just a part of that environment, and I enjoy it. I just enjoy to work a lot, to perform a lot.
I
I
can
really
tell because whenever it's, even if it's family holidays, if it's sorting your passport out, somehow somehow you end up wrestling.
Yeah, man. Why not, man? I like those reps. Reps are gold.
So when you look back, like what are some of your earlier highlights, like some of your favorite matches from when you're starting out? Because again, I know you've been having like cage matches early on, and what are some of your highlights?
That's a good question. I don't want to leave any people behind. Oh man, Kurt, that's a really big question. Let me just go ahead and I'm hoping I'm not fast forwarding to your next question.
Yeah,
Can I mention some of the guys that I actually admire or respect?
yeah, yeah.
Or
Go
oh
in
yeah,
there.
go. I mean, I know this guy. He says he doesn't like me, but I like him.
Nitro.
I know this guy Nitro. He says the same old story that we don't really like each other, but in the ring we just got so much in common. It's just yeah. Miguel, Nitro, if you're watching this, I can't say anything bad about you. I don't know why you don't like me. I even got your T-shirt. God's sakes. When we end up in the same ring, we always do magic. Okay, so stop playing. And even Martin Raun called Adonis.
Yeah,
Um, he's really worked on his physique, and it's not all about the moves. It's about selling a character, a gimmick. So I like his work, and even Michael Finn. I've been teasing for a match a long time. Got good chemistry, and one more guy is Pete Phoenix. I know he's like this rich kid persona in the ring, but he knows he has to work on his body just a little bit more. But he has a perfect gimmick, and he's believable. So those guys I could mention as those guys that I like to work with a lot.
yeah. Well, you mentioned Pete. He did actually like thank you because you'd been helping him getting in a lot better shape and stuff like that. Is that something you do for quite a lot of people? Do you help quite a lot of the guys to maintain like the best physical condition, or just the occasional person?
Nah, I had Pete under my wing. Actually have another CCW guy called Lunico. He's
Yeah.
actually Phoenix's tag team partner, and this guy, even this guy says like, but I helped him out with a little bit of diet, a little bit of training, and whatnot. So I work as a personal trainer, and
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So I just help as much as possible that I can.
Yeah, like I like the Nitro Green impression, I've got to say. um, and he said a lot of things like with you being the first Danish wrestler to get that WWE tryout. Obviously, friendly competition. He was like, you might be in the first, but he'll be the next or the first signed. I want to talk about that experience with WWE. Like, what was that like for you? First off, to be the first Danish wrestler to get a tryout with WWE.
It was kind of surreal because you get to get that WWE tryout after 3 years, and let me tell you, it wasn't easy. It was a hard dedication, a lot of traveling. I mean, how many times have I traveled across Europe, even the Philippines? Wherever I could go, I would try to find work. I would reach out to these guys. So Miguel, I'm sorry if I was the first one. I know you've been into the business much longer than I have, but I didn't do it for us. And when I got that tryout, I wasn't thinking about just me. I was thinking about us. I was thinking about Scandinavians. Like we're being overseen. UK, they got all the publicity. They got the WWE UK performance centers. You got well-trained, certified NXT trainers, and here we got nothing, right? So we have to work with what we got. We have to learn by ourselves. When we go out to different countries, we got to gain experience. So for me, to be the first Danish guy, I was really proud of that, but it was a lot on my shoulders, right?
Yeah.
But I learned so much from this experience. And when I didn't get the contract, I told myself, okay, what have I learned? And what do I need to know the next time I get that WWE contract or tryout? Sorry.
Who was it that was running the tryout?
Regal.
Regal.
And
So
John,
no pressure there.
No, I mean Regal, Brookside, and yeah, Brookside. He was quite funny because he had some Danish experiences. He had an ex-girlfriend, so he could talk a little bit of Danish. I was surprised. What the hell? So yeah, Regal. He taught us about the same stuff that Zach Gibson taught us about realism. So I thank him for that, and I wish I could get another opportunity with this guy. He's amazing.
Yeah. So what feedback did they give you going away? Like, what did they say? Go work on this. Go work on that. What did they tell you?
They're kind of secretive, kind of. I mean, you do the 3 days, and then you go back to your hotel room. If you get a mail, they want to see you again. But if you don't get mail, you just take the flight next morning. So It was kind of weird. You don't get any feedback or anything. But the one thing I remember from when I actually asked Regal was, "Hey, man, feel kind of weird because I'm supposed to represent Denmark. I was born in Denmark, so I feel Danish. But look at me. I don't look Danish. I don't have blonde hair or brown hair." So he said to me, "The only thing you have to do is you have to believe in yourself. If you believe, then we believe." So, and even in the promo skills, we had to do that. That was the first thing we had to do, the promo skills. I completely messed up. I thought I had to go by my gimmick, but I should have said things that I'm saying to you right now.
Yeah.
Like everything from the heart, who I am. He just said, just believe in yourself and just believe in your character, and it will come out naturally. So in my promos, I don't want to sound mechanic. I just want to be me. Just turn up by 10.
Yeah.
The guy that I love and the guy that I actually also hate. So on a 3, I'm just me.
Yeah. So is it, well, obviously it's something that you'll be wanting to do in the future. Have you had any contact with them?
Not so far. Not yet, because all this Corona. I think it's just stopping everything right now. But I might reach out to them once again, for sure, because I've gotten better.
Yeah. Do you think you'd feel more confident if there was another Danish wrestler there with you?
Not in particular, but I would love it if Nitro Green would accompany me.
I'd have laughed if you said somebody other than Nitro then. Like, he'd have been sat at home listening to this, like, thinking, you fucker.
Yeah. But he knows that I'm just messing with him. I still like him, though, but I don't know why he doesn't like me. I just think it's healthy competition, but it's all right. No hard feelings.
Why do you think you click so well in the ring with each other?
Because he really wants to hate me, but he can't. I think it's psychological. I think we understand each other and the way wrestling should be. I'm working with a lot of guys, and they don't connect as well as we do.
Yeah.
And I think it would be probably on a big stage in Denmark. It would be actually a pretty good match because we understand not creating moves, but creating moments, and what you work on between the moves.
Yeah,
that is important.
Now, with have you faced him as Xander yet, or only as Nitro?
Tag team only. Yeah.
How do you feel of the contrast? Like, which character do you prefer to face? Do you prefer the Randers Panya Xander, or do you prefer the Nitro Green gimmick?
Just for now, I prefer the Nitro Green because we have so much history and He's been bullying me on the internet, but when I meet him backstage before a show, hey, what's up, Miguel? Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? And he kind of softened up just a little bit when we hang out just a couple hours, and then we have a good laugh at it. But yeah, I'd rather meet him with the mask. Maybe later it will be. I just think he's a different character when he's Xander. He's like a
Yeah.
goofy guy jumping around with Adonis, the other guy, Martin.
So with that being said, then obviously the early goings of your career was CCW, is Dansk Pro, but then recently you'd been working Body Slam and you'd been doing a lot of the Body Slam shows like over the past couple of months. What's it been like working with Body Slam?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. I've been hating, the Danish wrestling scene just a little bit because of all the poison, all the backstage politics, and who's angry at who and everything. But to me, it's all about focusing on getting the reps, getting the matches and everything. I know there's been controversy on territory property, and this promotion is booking our town and everything. I mean, I don't want to mess with that. I just think it's good because we're only 3 promotions in Denmark, and we're only 6 million in this country. So by that, when you go to Liverpool or London, you already got maybe more promotions. So why do you want to start arguing in Denmark and try to think that they're taking over the territory? We need everybody. We need all the promotions to work together. We don't have to get other performers from other countries. I mean, right now there's not a lot of performers coming outside, so we're working a lot with inside the Denmark, and we're actually evolving these characters. So why would we do that? So when lockdown is over, we can say that we have even bigger main eventers, bigger stars here in Denmark.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, 100%. I said something similar with Copenhagen Hangman when we were speaking about trying to invest in your own people and not just bringing in international talent for the sake of international talent. It's important to build your guys up because, hey, there's a pandemic, flights aren't happening, but you're still being able to put on shows and putting that shows at good quality because you've been investing in your characters, you've been investing in your local talent. So it's definitely really is important. And in that interview with Hangman, it's not, as we're talking, it's not released, but by the time this is released, it will be out. In that one with Hangman, he talks about asked the question of the companies working together, and he wants them to. He wants all 3 companies to work together. So I put it out there, like, what do you think to this of some sort of a super show? If all 3 companies could try and get together, politics aside, maybe if there's going to be, hey, Body Slam versus Dansk, or if it's just going to be Body Slam versus Body Slam, Dansk versus Dansk, do you think a super show would work?
That's what I've been trying to promote the last 2 years because everybody is clinching. Everybody's clinching. I mean, even from the Copenhagen to Gothenburg, people are clinching. Gothenburg in Sweden, right? Yeah. So that's what I said since day one. I couldn't understand all this policy about territory and who's mad at who and everything because we're such a small country, and right next to us are our friends from Sweden. So I think maybe I've been planting some seeds in Hangman, so I could realize that, hey man, we need this. I know that you're mad at this guy, but I'm also mad at this guy. But should that prevent from evolving the Danish scene and even the Scandinavians? I mean, we can't really develop as performers if we're kind of locked down into just our own promotion. To me, it's completely different. I said this since day one. I only have focus on one thing, is just getting those reps and getting my footage out and going. I never started just to be an indie wrestler when I started. Started to be a WWE superstar. So that's why I do this.
No, great. And it's good to see that you've been planting the seeds because, again, from my chat with him, it's worked. Like, it is something he wants to happen. He wants people to be working together. He wants people just to be honest and keep the politics away and just do what's, again, use a WWE term, do what's best for business. Like, they really want to he seemed very keen for it. And I think if he did bring in the outside, like neighbours, whether it's Sweden, Norway, Finland, I think that's only going to be, it'll be a good showcase. Like you see it with WXW, with their Carrot Gold weekends. They do the Now Showcase where they'll bring in different companies to put on a match. I know Body Slam had one with Peter Alessandro Emeritus and Michael Finn. Something along the lines of that, where it's just a showcase of Scandinavian wrestling, because I feel more, especially whilst you're doing more social media stuff, more international fans would be open to that, I think. And there's no reason, again, there's only 3 companies in Denmark. There's no reason you won't be able to share.
No, I agree. I mean, we're so overlooked, man. We could showcase in WXW if we wanted to, if we reached out to them. It's just that people, they don't think out of the box sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a one-man army trying to reach out to a lot of people, a lot of promotions.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be working for my promotion, CCW, all the time, but you know, when I go to some place, it actually raises my value, so people know that I come from the CCW.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying since day one, and I had these arguments so many times. But I'm glad that the planting seeds have been working, so to speak.
Well, on all my interviews, I'll keep planting these seeds, and hopefully we can make it happen.
Yeah.
So if it was to happen, then what match would you want?
Any match, or what do you think? What do you mean?
Just anyone. If you was wanted to bring somebody outside from Europe, or if it was again just from Scandinavia, your guys, you get that one match. What match would you want it to be? Like what stipulation and what opponent?
Any guy from the Europe scene.
Yep,
European
Europe
scene.
or Scandinavia. Entirely up to you.
I want a triple threat match with Michael Finn and Nitro Green. And in Europe,
that'd be good.
I don't want a kid. I don't want the kid. I want a kid.
Yes.
And Gibson and Jamie as well. Sorry.
Everybody. We'll just make.
Man, that's a tough question, Kurt. I can't answer that. But in Denmark, I just mentioned Finn and Nitro in a triple threat.
That'd be fantastic. And again, yourself and A-Kid would be absolutely brilliant. Who would you want to team with if you was to face James Drake and Zach Gibson?
Dan Evans.
That kind of takes it back from where it all started for you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's kind of like a quick thing, because I know that Dan and Zach Gibson are good friends. Yeah. But if I had to choose somebody besides Dan, it would be
Nitro. It's where he can confess that he actually likes you.
Oh, what?
It can be Nitro. You can team with Nitro. It can be where he confesses to everybody in Scandinavian wrestling that he actually likes Carlos Zamora.
Okay, Nitro, it can be you as well. I mean, we're such a contrary, but the same way, bond. We're like brothers. Nitro, yeah.
I can't wait for him to be watching this. So, do you think whether it's yourself or if it was Nitro, if somebody gets signed by WWE, what impact do you think that would have on Scandinavian wrestling?
Definitely a big impact, but I just think that the only promotion, honestly, which is promoting this as a mainstream, is actually Body Slam. And I've tried to say this to CCW: don't try to do this too much underground. I like the style, I like the raw style, and the beer drinking people and everything. But I think CCW lacks a little bit of mainstream ideas to get out there. You're not trying to hide it too much and underground. I mean, even if, let's say, Pete Phoenix will get the contract for WWE, I just think that it would take some more time for Danish wrestling to be recognized in Denmark, because it's very, I say there's an expression in Danish. I can't really remember how to say it in English, but it would take some time. We need to work on some more media stuff to get it more legit. I've even done some small. I wouldn't say promos, but
Yeah.
small. How do you say this? How do you say this, Kurt? There's a TV station following me. What's it
Okay,
called?
so it's like some documentaries or media. Yeah.
Already, and I've been met with so much, hate and hey, wrestling was fake because they don't understand it, and wrestling is not that big in Denmark, but still they know what WWE is, Hulk Hogan, and everything, but it's just been looked looked down upon too many times, and I got a lot of silly messages because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm an easy target. I think they don't realize until they get into the show themselves how much fun it is. It's like an action movie.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the lack of WWE in Denmark, like with live shows, it's hard to get it to watch it. I think if when somebody does get signed, I think it might even change public perception because hey, we've got somebody that's signed to a massive, one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. And I was interviewing Mila Schmidt from France, and she mentioned French, like just the French like nation just didn't really respect wrestling as much. Amateur wrestling, yes, but professional wrestling, no. But then when Amel got signed to the contract by WWE, then all of a sudden she's on all the media outlets, but promoted massively. And hopefully, if that's something that does happen, that can happen for Denmark, where people are like, actually, you know what? I might give it a chance because it might be people where even like myself when I was younger, I loved wrestling, but I hated to admit it to people because of the stigma of wrestling's fake. Well, it's not fake; it's predetermined. Everything they do is taxing on the body. But I think if somebody gets that spotlight, and then the nation will capitalize on such good press because they've got an athlete in WWE. Hopefully, that can help the independent scene in Scandinavia.
Yeah, and actually, just to add something into that, when I did the mini document,
Yeah.
what is it? Yeah. So I told him just give me one shot, and I meant by the WWE.
Yeah.
And let's say I got that WWE contract, it could have been big in Denmark just by now. So it was hard not getting that contract when I was at the WWE trial. But for sure, whatever you just said, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I sometimes just try to hide it because people they look down upon it, and it's not very respected. But I hopefully soon it will be. One guy.
So, what other goals do you have? Like, obviously, WWE, you want to be that superstar, but if there's going to be a couple of years and you've got some more things to do between then, what are those goals? Like, what do you want to achieve before going to WWE?
Just right now, in this Corona lockdown, the only thing that I've been doing is working 7 days a week. So I've just been saving up a lot of money. So I just wanna own my own apartment. I want to own my own car. Just be financially secure.
Yeah.
And I think it's like bad luck in the same way it's good luck because I was just traveling around and spending all my money on traveling and getting the reps where I went. So I think it's in a good way to just to get a small break. And once I've bought everything and financially secure, I will be ready for WWE for sure.
Yeah. Is there any companies or countries you want to travel to or wrestle for before going with WWE?
Yeah, exactly. I know which promotions I gotta head out to. WXW, obviously, but also promotions in the UK, Rep Pro, um, Zach Gibson's promotion as well. I really want to go there because I know some of the guys. Thesis, you name it. I also want to go to Spain and wrestle just one time because I'm also part Spanish. So what I'm not part of, I mean, yeah, Spain as well. I know they have Riot Wrestling in Barcelona as well.
That'd be good for you. And you just seem to be like a mix of loads of different nationalities. Is there any others?
Yeah, chameleon. Right.
Is there any other nationalities other than those three?
I just my dad is Spanish, my mom is Filipino.
Yeah.
So, but I was born and raised here, so my heart is more of a Danish guy. So
Yeah.
I tried to live in the Philippines, but when I was there, I was more of a Danish guy living in another world.
No, brilliant. So hope obviously good luck and all the best with that pursuing WWE. Hopefully, that second tryout will be the money, and hopefully when I know before lockdown and before coronavirus, there were plans for NXT UK to be doing a lot more shows, and instead of doing the block tapings, they wanted to be in different cities and maybe traveling every week or every couple of weeks. Just from what I'd heard from different people of venues have reached out to. So hopefully, when coronavirus is away and it's disappeared, you will get that opportunity to come for another tryout, even if it's just one of the dark matches to show what you can do in that crowd environment. But yeah, honestly, good luck with it and good luck in making this super show happen. Like, if it happens, I'll definitely be there for it. But where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Carlos Zamora on Facebook, but you can also follow me on Twitter. It's kind of a messy Twitter, but follow me on Instagram. I've also got Carlos Zamora, but also El Guapo on Instagram. Just follow me on this link below where you're going to put
Fantastic.
it.
It'll be in the descriptions somewhere down there. Brilliant. But now, everybody, make sure you go follow Carlos. And if you've enjoyed this, make sure you hit like and subscribe and have a look at the different interviews, have a look at the different playlists, whether it's hashtag Scandigraps or this wrestling from Southeast Asia. Again, Carlos, thank you for coming on the show. Like, really enjoyed it. And hopefully, when the world goes back to normal and you do some more traveling, we can get some more. We can do another interview and talk some more wrestling.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, Michael Nitro. I'm coming from you, James. I'm coming for you, all of you guys. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Until next time.